this major fascination by people on making money blogging. Ben, go ahead and take it.
Thanks, Mitch. So if we're talking about making money blogging, I mean, I think a lot of bloggers do it or are trying to do it. I don't really do it myself. But, I mean, making money, I think for people, it's a motivator. It's if you give someone some money, they might be motivated to do something much more than if you don't. But I think also, if it's something that you enjoy doing, then money shouldn't enter into it. It should be a little bonus for you. So if your boss says to you one day at work, I'm going to give you an extra 5,000, how do you feel about that? You might think, oh, brilliant, excellent, I'm going to have that. But I don't think you should need money. It's just something that would be a nice extra if you get it.
Well, you know, I think that there's more than one way to make money blogging. You don't have to generate the income right from the posts of your blog. You can, and I've written about this in the past, where you can do consulting, you can do SEO work, and a lot of well-known bloggers will put on there that what they made for the week or for the month, and often you'll see where they're listing advertising would be considered, I guess, make money blogging, affiliate programs, but you can make money generated from your blog, especially for local business, that's not necessarily generated from the content you write or for the readership, but by traffic derived from that blog, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. If you were to take it away and say someone who maybe makes money from all those different avenues today, and suddenly they say, right, so actually you're now going to get a job that isn't blogging and take away all the money side of things, would that person keep on blogging? I think if the answer's no, then maybe you're in it for the wrong reasons.
I also tend to think that a lot of people who haven't really done any blogging think that this is an easy way to make money. And, you know, I think that there's a lot of articles out there that tell people how to make money by blogging. And yet when they really get into it, there's very few who make enough money to live off of by blogging. Yet people think it is. And I think blogging in general is a lot harder. I mean, in general, I think it's easy if you're not afraid to write something. But I think that, you know, you start adding different things to it, you never know what's going to attract someone's mind into it.
And I believe you need to be a blogger to run a blog. Just like Ben said, money can be a motivator. But if you're blogging just to make money, you're going to be one of the people out with the niche websites, and I'm guilty of this too in the past, with a niche website with a bunch of AdSense ads on it, with just, you know, maybe unique content, maybe not, optimized for SEO, trying to drive the traffic in. The whole point of those websites is to draw traffic in and get you to click off. And that's not a true blog. You know, we would set up, you know, dozens of websites to bring traffic in, and everything's written to be optimized for the SEO, or, you know, optimized for the search engines, and to give you as little information as possible, sad as that is, to get you to click on one of the AdSense links to get to go look for the information there.
Yeah. And I think Google, AdSense is a horrible way of trying to make money.
It is. It really is for a blog anyway. And you're giving your traffic away to Google. And Google is, by the way, a lot of people are upset about that latest updates, but they've taken care of that pretty much by bringing up the quality of their search and getting rid of all the high traffic on those horrible sites like the niche blogs, because you got to the point that was actually giving blogging a bad name in a lot of circles.
Yeah. Sure. What do you think?
If I'm not going to make any money off of it, I have no urge to do it.
Well said.
Yeah. It's either to promote yourself for what you can do. If it's a fun blog, a lot of mom bloggers have them. A lot of people that the only thing they want put on there is about their family, so their family can see it instead of writing old-fashioned letters. There's those type of bloggers that are doing it they're not trying to draw traffic. They don't even know SEO. They don't know any of this. They just put up their things so that their friends and family can see it, and that's one type of blogging that is fine. They don't care about money. But if you're going to spend time and make sure that each week you're putting out good information, then my theory is if I'm going to have to do the research and do the writing and put in the time for the SEO and the promotion, then I want something out of it.
I agree with that. I mean, anybody can blog. Go on to Facebook, set up your blog, go to Tumblr. There's a bunch of free resources. Go out, have the time of your life. You're still a blogger. You're still blogging, but you're not a professional blogger. You don't have your own URL. You're not your own unique content. You're not. I'd say that moves you into the direction of a pro blogging.
I'd like to add one thing, which is, I don't think that anyone necessarily has to be trying to make money off of a blog, but as you said earlier, Brian, there are different ways. For instance, I have multiple blogs, and a couple of them are business blogs, and my idea behind those is that I'm trying to show proficiency in certain areas so that people will hire me to do, services for them. So I'm not directly trying to make money from the blog posts, but I'm trying to show that, maybe I've got the knowledge that you need to help you in your business.
Exactly. And blogs can benefit local and national business, for that matter.
Yeah.
With that, and even keeping their customers updated on new products, surveys, and all types of things.
Yeah. Now, I just want to throw this as a side question back to Ben really quick. Ben, what do you think of all these people who seem to create brand new make-money blogs who haven't made any money off of it?
I think it's nonsense. I mean, really, I think there's this stigma attached where you will see a blog where someone says, come and learn to make money with me. I don't know either, but we can learn as we go. And I think it's been done to death. There are people who have actually pulled that off and done a good job of it. But really, I think if you want to be an authority for a topic, you've got to have already done it. So, for instance, I write about blogging because I've run a few blogs over the last few years, and because I believe I've discovered a good formula that allows you to build a blog that people will actually enjoy and that will be actually a genuinely good blog and not just, something that people look at and go, well, it's not really any better or worse than anyone else's. I think you've got to know your topic.
Good point. Anyone else want to jump on that one?
No, as far as that, just it's the same as all the blogs popping up, the SEO services, and then in the back end they're trying to sell link building services and bookmarking services and stuff, and right on their front page of their very own blog, you look at it and they're not even ranked on Google. If they are, they're not making the service. So, I mean,
that's an interesting point, because I find so many of those types of pages where you look at the websites of the people who are offering those services, and most of the time they're not ranked at all.
Right.
And I always thought how funny that is, that you're going to tell everyone else what you can do for them, and you haven't even tried to do it for yourself.
So there's a little bit of requirement to earn some credibility and walk the walk before you try to sell your talk. So somebody should write that down, because that was a great saying. It just came out like that.
Hey, we got it on video. We don't have to write it down.
Yeah,
you know
what, Brian? You get in these things and you just come up with the coolest sayings. I think that we stimulate your brain and just bring out the best in you.
But you know what? The first one he ever came up with without wearing the hat.
Oh, it's true. Oh, by the way, for those viewers, this is not gray. That's highlights. This is style. I'm trend setting, so that's the new trend. So later on another blog, I'll be selling the dye kit for that.
1995, and you too can have a gray spot.
There you go.
Or highlight.
Well, let's go to the second topic, and this is strange because I get to lead this one. And it's, who do you write for, yourself or others, and why? And this is an interesting topic because I come across a lot of blogs that say that you should be writing for a particular audience, and it's not really anything about you. And I tend to disagree with that, because I do think that it really has to be about you. It has to be your personality that gets people interested in what you have to say. You go to blogs and someone is writing something that sounds really clinical and there's no emotion in it. You don't care about those people. So you have to think, what kind of thing do you like first, and what, really interests you. Back to Ben's point, if you're writing about something that you're doing just to try to make money, that makes no sense. But if you're writing about something that you're interested in and you can show a passion in it, other people are going to feel that passion, and you can bring them in. And I'm thinking about someone who, I remember last year, a lady named Pat, who was writing a blog about lavender. And, well, as strange as it sounds, I like the smell of lavender. I didn't really care about growing or whatever, but seeing the passion that she had in it made it worthwhile to read. So I really think that, you have to think of it as far as what would you read first and what interests you. And then, hopefully your audience cares about your topic and will like it as well. So that's my thought on it. What do you guys say?
Well, myself, I guess it depends on what you're blogging or who you are as a blogger. If you're blogging for business, obviously you need to write for your customers, your clientele. It's not about you. If you're a business, if you have a tool shop and your blog is, bringing up next week's sale or having a contest, or you're going to have a big customer appreciation cookout or something, you're writing for your customer, not yourself. If you're doing personal blogging, on a personal blog, it's going to be about you, and hopefully that your personality is going to bring in people that that you appeal to, and that'll work. Everything else, as far as what I do on my blog, or the hotblogtips.com blog, is a mixture of it. You got to have both. You got to write for and nobody wants to admit it, but you have to write for the search engines. You have to write for your readership, your subscriber, and you need to bring your personality out with that.
But see, now, when I write over at Hot Blog Tips, I leave personality out because I like to do a lot of the how-tos and give the step-by-steps. So I leave a lot of personality out because I'm not writing it for me. I'm writing it because it's something I know how to do, and I am sharing it with everybody else. Okay, this is, a lot of times I do the step-by-steps, or I explain it very point-blank, which that's a good part of my personality anyway, but it's not got the, like Mitch and I talked one day about the storytelling and involving yourself. I don't do that so much because, well, I just figure most times if I were to talk or write like I talk, people would be offended. I'd offend too many people. So
come on, man. Come on, Sheryl. Now you know you are not offensive. You are the least abrasive person I know.
But the thing is, I do it so that they know exactly how to do it with no fluff, and I would tell them if I was in a conference with them and trying to explain how to do a certain project, that's exactly how I would tell them too, in the point-blank, step-by-step. Now you get me in something like this with you guys, and it's like, oh, well, who cares? But, yeah, I write it just for the other person. Otherwise, Brian would be in there blanking out a lot of words.
Well, that's not necessarily true, Sheryl, because, and I'm not just trying to stroke you here, but
Man, let's not have any of that now.
Honestly, with the content, Sheryl's written a lot of posts and a lot of tips for hotblogtips.com, and she takes care of an incredible amount of things for us. But honestly, she gets, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, you guys too, Mitch and Ben, but as far as guest posts go, and mine for that matter, what Sheryl puts on there is true, helpful content. Is that a boat?
No, that's the guy cutting my lawn. I knew he was going to show up right in the middle. I told my wife earlier, he's going to show up right in the middle when we start recording, and there it is.
Oh, we'll just ignore it and act like it's not happening. It's all good.
Just say that you're on the bay and they're pulling your boat in your yacht. Us bloggers make big money. We're all sitting on the beach.
Yeah, I'm thinking as you look and see what's behind me, you all know I'm not on the beach.
But yeah, Sheryl's putting really great content out there, and honestly, I wouldn't care if her personality came out in that or not. I mean, personality is great, but I mean, you can't read a single post she does. I don't care how good of a blogger you are, or I think everybody can read one of her posts and come away with something they learned.
Yeah.
And that's all the rest of us can strive for.
I think Sheryl makes a point. You made the point. It depends on what you're writing. For instance, in a lot of my blog posts, I put my personality because it's me. But when I have those posts where it's a teaching point, it's a step-by-step post, or like the other day I wrote a post that talked about 10 writing tips in 2 minutes. Well, it's 10 quick tips for people to see. There's not a lot of personality when you're writing something like that because you're not trying for personality. You're trying to just give some quick step-by-step tips of something to do. But there's those other times where I think, yes, you do tell the story. And in telling the story, there's the personality so that you can get your point across and hope that it's learned. But I think, those are, those times where there has to be a difference. It's not always one way or the other. But even when I did the 10 tips, I will tell you, my idea was that I wanted it to be something that people could read in 2 minutes or less, recognizing that everyone doesn't read that, but still should be able to get through these 10 tips in just 2 minutes. So, I was doing that for everyone else, but at the same time I was thinking about me because I said, okay, recognize what you're like. You don't want to go overboard on it, so just make sure that they're all one-line, quick tips.
And and I know we're going over on these, so sorry, but I got great things to contribute. You can do the same thing in your blog. So when I'm discussing a blogging tip, and I have different sections, and I know you do as well, Ben. You may be doing something for an advanced technique. You may be doing something for a beginning blogger. If you're doing something for an advanced blogging technique, you're assuming that they already have a blog and they don't need to learn how to set up WordPress or whatever that is they're using. You're assuming they have the basics down. And then and that's your audience for that particular post. You move into something more basic, some guy just starting out and maybe doesn't even have a blog yet. Maybe he's just looking for it, or he or she, sorry. I didn't mean to be, sexist or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think with things like that, so when we're talking about, particularly with my blog and Brian's blog, where we're sharing blog tips, I mean, in my case, what I do is I don't just think, what topic shall I write about next? What I do is I try things on my blog, like I maybe change my schedule, or I change the design, or I add a widget or a plugin. I do something with my newsletter. And what I end up doing first is I end up doing something to my blog, which is for me, but then I write about what I did and why I did it, whether it worked or not, and then I share that, and then that's the post that I write for readers. So I primarily try things out for myself, just so I can experiment, so I'm not saying to people, try this, I haven't got a clue if it works or if it'll be good or not. But I can then say, hey guys, I post on Twitter at this time of day and it worked really well, for instance.
Yeah, and
that's a way to go. I think that works well. I do that a lot as well. As a matter of fact, right now I'm doing it where I'm trying something out as far as blog frequency goes. And, because I tend to write a lot, but I said, let's try how this works. And basically what it's done for me is that I've got all my blog posts for one of my blogs done through the end of July already. So, I don't have to write anything if I'm not in the mood to do it.
Somebody hit mute on him because we don't need to be hearing crap like that.
It is true. It's a little frustrating, Mitch. I'm running a month behind on most of my blogs, and I'm a week behind on my main blog, and I can't even find the time to send a tweet out, much less. And
I've got a blog that the Fuzzy Wuzzy site. I don't even write for it. I just send the topics to a dude and he writes them. I'm like, yeah. When he sends them back, I post them.
The secret's out.
I love that.
Blogging outsourcing.
Well, let's go to our next topic. And this one is, the question is, what do we think about the viability of blogging long term? Just so you know, this seems to be a big thing that's going on a lot. And so I wanted to know what you thought of this. Brian, you get to take this one first.
Okay, cool. It's my turn. Honestly, it's not a big secret. Blogging is a trend. It's near its end. It's on its way out. And we should all just stop right away.
Yeah.
But you know, blogging's been around for a while, and I like to say that I've been blogging since blogging was blogging, or since blogging was a word. And that's probably not true, because people were blogging way before, you know, before any of us even knew what blogging was. I mean, you got Pro Blogger and Darren Ross. You got some really great people to inspire us. But at the same time, things are changing with blogging. We can see social media so intertwined with bloggers right now. I mean, you can't even tell the difference. And that's causing the whole trend to move and change, and in my opinion, improve. And we can also, and this is just within the last couple of years, you can hardly watch a news broadcast or listen to a radio show without them bringing on a blogger as an expert. Now, you know, I keep waiting for the phone call from somebody to say, Brian, we would love to have you on as an expert. And this is how I'm going to bring in my friend Sheryl, and it's on Hot Blog Tips YouTube channel, by the way. Should be below this video. Sheryl was just interviewed on a radio station, on a TV station, a local TV station in Las Vegas, as an expert. So, as a social media expert, which she is.
There you go.
So this is where we're going. 10 years ago, nobody knew the word blogging. 5 years ago, if you heard it, it's like, what in the world is, I'm not talking about us, but I'm talking for the general public, what is blogging? Within the last couple of years, if you say I'm a blogger, you may not get the best response, but they know what you are. So, it's out there, it's moving, it's going forward, and in my opinion, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to evolve, and it's going to advance, and it's going to change. As long as we can continue to keep up with the trend, we're here long term. Blogging isn't going anywhere. It may be video blogging, it may be virtual blogging. You know, hey Mitch, how you doing? And I'll rub your head. You know, you never know where it's going. But it's definitely. I better
keep my hair there. She's going to be rubbing my head.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Is blogging started off, of course, all text, only text. Then people started adding pictures because we had the forums. We had before that the stupid little boards from way back when that you couldn't even really communicate on. And so now we've went from just the text, and you add a cutesy picture, and people can comment. Now people can share very easily a million different places. And from what I watch, because I watch video and keep up on that, blogging is going to probably get away from just text, because they're expecting by 2014 to 90% of the content on the web being video. You figure as much video is uploaded each minute to YouTube that we're going to get away from the text for a good part. You're always going to have that for SEO until the search engines can get good enough to actually understand and really translate text or translate audio. But I think we're going to see a big trend, and you're going to see less and less text bloggers and more video bloggers.
And part of that falls right into that area is mobile. Mobile is exploding. If you're not blogging for mobile right now, you need to seriously think about mobile users. Look at your Google Analytics and start catering to some of the mobile viewers, readers. And video is perfect. Most smartphones can watch a video on iPhone, Android, what have you. And nobody wants to sit there on that little bitty screen and read your 1,200 word, blog post if they can't see visually and listen to something. Mitch has and I've never checked this, but Mitch has an iPod, not iPod, but what do you help me out here?
It's kind of an icon that's on there that you can click on, and it will read the post to you.
I need to go to your website and look at that on my phone and see if I can hear that, because I love that, where I can click it and it's read for me.
Yeah.
And if you can do that on mobile, that's great too. And
And that's
Well,
just
I'm lazy,
being,
you know. But everybody's lazy. So, and that's why this technology is so advancing as quick as it is. We're lazy. We're lazy in nature. It's human nature. So,
But see,
well,
I like to make a comment on this because, well, a couple of comments on it. One, I find it interesting that everyone thinks it's going to go more towards audio, video or audio or whatever, because I've seen some people who started out only doing video blogs where they have stopped and they have failed because, one, it still takes time to do a video, and two, if you're someone like me, and I consume a lot of information almost every single day. I also speed read. And if I have to deal with the fact that I'm going to a website and I have to watch a 10-minute video, or I can read an article in 2.5 to 3 minutes, I'd rather read the article. Just because I don't have the time to sit there and watch a bunch of videos. Now, if that's all someone has on their blog, I'm not the guy. But now that's point number one. Point number two is when you're talking about the viability of blogging long term, and, you know, I mean, like I said, I've been reading this where people are saying blogging is dying, blogging is dying. And my thought was, well, okay, if blogging is dying, then what is it that all those people on Twitter happen to be sharing most of the time on Twitter? People share mainly three things on Twitter. They share a link to a video, they share a link to a picture, or they share links to blogs, most of the time other people's blogs of stuff that they like. And if blogging went away, well, you know, what's the next thing? And I see that on Twitter, and I see it on Google Plus. You don't see it as much on Facebook because people love to share pictures more often on Facebook. But in my opinion, if people still want to share information, they're you know, this is what they're sharing.
yeah, but it depends on who you follow on Twitter, because I follow smartasses, and they send out smartass comments constantly. They don't link to nothing unless it's a, you know, something really entertaining. But it's all in who you follow. And just like you don't want to watch video, most times I'd rather watch video. So go ahead, Ben.
Well, I think that's a later topic that we're going to have one time, where we're going to probably talk about blogging and social media, you know, the other type of social media, because I think that's an interesting topic, because I don't follow people like that. Ben, go ahead.
Cheers. Okay, right. So, I mean, we've talked about, like, viability of blogging long term, and I think we've got quite focused on the technology side of it. I mean, really, as time goes on, more technology comes out, things change, you can do new things. So I think it's a good thing to talk about. And, I mean, at some point over the last however many years it's been, it's not just that people say blogging is dying or blogging is dead. They say, why is it dying? What actually kills it? And people have said, I'm sure they've said things like Facebook will kill blogging, and Twitter will kill blogging. I mean, what I'd say to that is, well, have they? No, they haven't. And the fact is, we can still have all these different tools and services and stuff like this, and they can all coexist. They can all stay in the world at the same time. We can have some videos, we can have some text. I think really it's just a case of, certainly in my case, I don't mind watching videos, but I do prefer reading blog posts, and the next person may be completely the opposite.
Yeah, and that's a good point. There's something for everybody, and I think that's really good.
And if I had to actually try to learn anything from one of those phones, you might as well forget it. If I had to read it, I can't hardly even read on a Kindle Fire. I mean, I run 23-inch monitors and have my text blown up. And so if I had to read on something that small, I'd be in deep trouble because I can't do it. So that's where I think with the mobile, the video is great, at least for me, because I'm half blind.
And we honestly need both. If we're going to do video on a blog, I mean, if you're going to have a YouTube channel, and we see this all the time, some cute little 22-year-old girl, hey, sorry about the racist stuff again, but it's true. She's sitting there mumbling on and on and on. You look at, she's got 1.5 million views on that thing, and you look at her subscribers, it's like, wow, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
But and it's not just, I don't mean, you know, I mean, you have people doing funny jokes. I mean, you know, entertainment is basically what it is. But if you're a blogger and you're going to have video on your blog, you have to have the text. Google's never going to visit you if you don't.
Yeah.
With today's technology, they can't go into, maybe this, and maybe in the future they will be able to, but as of right now, as far as we know, they can't go into and read the content of what we say within the video. So
you talk to me later about that. That's another topic for another day, and I'll tell you about it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what's next, Mitch?
Well, we got our one last topic here, and this ought to be interesting. The question is, what is it about blogging that we like? And we get Sheryl leading things off.
Oh, isn't that pleasant? Go, Sheryl.
What do I like about blogging? Traffic. That's it. If you have to have, like Brian said, right now you have to have text. To get your long tail text, you got a bunch of crap written. So therefore, you have to have a blog. And other than traffic, there's a lot of it I don't personally like to do. Whereas, do I go and read blogs? I have my favorite blogs that I visit all the time, and I love them. But I personally, I could do without it. And if I can get good enough at doing video, I'll do strictly video and let you all write.
Well, I'm just the opposite. I'm going to jump in here. Sorry if I'm just the opposite. I do love the traffic, so it's not the complete opposite. But I also like the interaction that blogging gives us. I'm very anti-social in real life. I can get along in almost any environment, but I prefer my environment to be within my property line here, within my house, and don't knock on my door. I'm sorry, but that's just me. So I don't. But I'm the internet. I can be, a blogging superhero, which I am, in case you haven't noticed. So, I can have, I can go on there and show off and show what I can do, and people can come on there and comment, and then I'll go to their blogs and comment. And I love that interaction, and I did way before social media just exploded. Now with the social media...
with a video, Brian, or a Hangout.
What's that?
You could have that same interaction with a video or a Hangout.
Right, and I equate that to the technology from blogging. I mean, the social media, the blogging, and then now Google's graced us with these these Hangout abilities. But I got to say I'm still here. See there,
yes,
Google. Google thought I wasn't here. They thought I was just talking for nothing. But
that's what Kim said.
Maybe it didn't like what you had to say.
Right. Yeah, but I thought I was like, you're going too long. We're closing you out here. But it's all like we were saying in the last topic. It's all evolved. It's all part of it, and it really brings the joy out in blogging. I hate to sound all mushy and and soft and stuff, but I like blogging for almost everything that blogging does. It brings the traffic, it brings an income, and for me it does, and it brings some interaction that I honestly don't care to go to the grocery store to find, and I don't go to the bars or nothing like that, but blogging brings me to people that think more along the lines and have the same interests that I do. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So that's what I like about blogging and the traffic.
I mean, I think I definitely like blogging, and I'd say I wouldn't say, I love traffic, but I'd say I like being able to reach people with a message, and I particularly like being able to help people. I mean, that for me is quite a buzz. So if I can put out a post that even just one person reads and said that's good or that's useful, then that gives me great satisfaction. I mean, I think in terms of why would I like blogging, say, over other ways of communicating with people, I think I can put together my message much better in text than in any other format. And I also think that it's much easier for people to pick up a blog post, read it, and they're done, than if you were to, say, write a book and then try and convince them to read that. So I think for me a blog post is pretty much the ideal way of communicating with people.
Well, when I say the traffic, that's because we run some websites for small local businesses in different places. They would just have a plain front website, if not for the blog. So, what I mean? That's where I say I like the traffic, is simply because they need it around their business to draw the traffic. Otherwise, you're not going to get traffic with just a one-page website that looks like a, you know, a freaking business card with their info.
That's true.
So that's, yeah, I was talking about a different kind of blogging for traffic in thinking of the business blog rather than just a regular blog. Because if
yeah, SEO benefits too. I mean, blog, at least they did, and it's a lot of people argue the point now, but blogs, Google likes blogs.
Yeah. Let me throw this in here. Obviously, I like blogging. I have 5 blogs, and I write 4 blogs for other people, and I've written blogs for a lot of other folks. And I've been writing stuff online since 1997. So I was thinking about that the other day, saying, my goodness, 15 years I've been writing stuff online. And I like the process of writing. Now, I will tell you the truth, I only started doing videos about 18 months ago. And I find the process of doing a video very interesting because, well, I'm locked. I mean, you guys see it right here. It's on the top of my monitor. I can't go anywhere else. I don't have another camera to go anywhere else. And when you do videos, well, you got to kind of clean up for it. Brian, I know you're probably like me. Every once in a while, you're sitting there at night, got the shirt off, got the fan on, sitting there in your shorts or underwear, and you're writing. And video, you can't quite do that unless you're one of those people.
That's not true, Mitch. I don't have any pants on right now.
I don't have pants on. When I walked outside earlier, no kidding, the neighbor man drives by, and he slows way down. I'm in this nice little shirt. I got on old raggedy shorts, and my hair actually looked like it had been combed, so he's probably thinking, who the hell is on their porch? So as long as I know where the video camera's aiming, I can sit here in my underwear and do a video.
But you're still going to, like for this video here, you're going to want to make sure your hair looks nice, whatever. I mean, if you're putting something out for others to see, you want to project some kind of at least image. Whereas if you're not, you know, then that's a different story. I'm not going to have any video show up on my blogs, for instance, or wherever, and I'm not wearing some kind of shirt. And that's what I'm saying. You know, whereas late at night, if I just feel like writing a whole bunch of posts, which happens quite often, it doesn't matter what I look like. You know, and I guess that's kind of the thing. But I'm with Brian on a lot of this in the fact that I do love the interaction. And you know, I make money on just one blog. And it turned out to be one that I actually accept guest posts on, and it helps to build it up a lot, and you know, that works out well. But I love the writing process, and I like, you know, putting out the opinion. I like people who, you know, see that or whatever. But I also see that as a way of marketing, you know, because I will admit I have the dream of one day being asked to speak at a blogging conference and actually get paid to do it. There you go.
You know, I need a real quick disclaimer too. I love the interaction, but I didn't know those late night tweets from me and Mitch. He was naked.
I didn't say naked. I always got my drawers on at least.
And I want to mention one other thing too. Another cool thing about blogging is look to me on my monitor. He's to my left, but look at Benn over there. QuickBlogTips.com and HotBlogTips.com. Partners in a newsletter, now our Hangout and YouTube. We work together. We've posted on each other's blogs. Where else in the world can you find other than blogging, we can find competitors working together like that? I mean, it's just unheard of.
In a NASCAR race.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not real business. That's just But you know, I mean, honestly, I mean, blogging, you find people that should in a normal business environment be, no holds, no bars hold down or whatever you want to call it, competing with each other. In bloggers, you find everybody's willing to help. Everybody's jumping in there. Hey, you got a problem with this? I know the solution. Or, hey, I don't know what happened here. What can I do? And I can go to any number of bloggers that should be competitors and ask, and I will get almost an immediate response. People will bend over backwards to help. Phone calls. If they're close enough, they'll come to your house. And that is
we don't want that happening all the time.
Right, exactly right. But I mean, that's a community that is nice to be involved with. You know,
and it's a worldwide community. I mean, look at us. I mean, none of us are in the same location. We got Ben over there in London, who's going to be visiting the Queen later on, and we got Sheryl, where it's going to be 109 degrees later on today. My goodness, you're over there in Michigan. I'm in New York. I mean, if blogging has helped all of us meet people all around the world and be able to communicate on the exact same level, and it's something that I don't think that without I mean, I'd have never got it without blogging. It just would have never happened. I never thought that, like, one of the first people who was going to start commenting on one of my blogs was going to be a guy in Australia. You just would have never seen it coming, and yet there it is.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on, honestly. I mean, it don't get no better than that, Mitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So
yeah. I think we're good to go. So this has been our first presentation of Hot Blog Tips Hangout. We're going to be doing plenty more. Sometimes we're going to have guests come in. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a good day.
Bye.